What is going on, y'all? It's your boy Chin here again today from the Nothing But Facts podcast. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful Tuesday afternoon here. I am tuned in live with you guys all. We are breaking down some beautiful week 1 games. We are starting off this week hot. We have some really good matchups to start off the week 1 the right way. Week 0 is also good, but we know week 1 is when and where the real season starts. Today, we're going to be breaking down Alabama going on the road against Florida State. Going to be an unbelievable game. So many storylines, so much drama, so many new players, new faces. We'll break that all down today. Let's jump right into our program that we have. This game has been anticipated, for months. If you watch college football, even last year watching college football, this game was talked about briefly. Was talked about that these two teams, the first game of the season in 2025, they're going to be playing each other week 1. Now, if you were to ask me 2 years ago about this game, I might have said, hey, I think Florida State should be ranked. I think Florida State, if you asked me this same question 2 years ago, I thought this team was going to be ranked. But obviously, things happen. Obviously, we live in a world where sometimes our expectations aren't our realities. And the reality is that Florida State is in a very precarious situation. They're in a situation that they have not been in as a program ever before. And I'm a Florida State fan. As difficult as for me to say that, I am. And we are in a really tough spot. The last 365 days, if you were to ask me last year, do I believe Florida State were going to win 3 games, 2 games? I would have said no, probably 7 games. But obviously, things didn't happen as we thought they were going to happen. There was a talent drop off, the quarterback position, all these things, X, Y, Z, etc. Yada, yada, yada. We know what happened, right? It was not a good football team. But then after the season, right, we knew that there needed to be some changes. There needed to be some changes on the offensive side. There needed to be some changes on the defensive side. There needs to be a physicality change. There needs to be all these different changes at Florida State. So you know what Mike Norvell did? Mike Norvell looked at all the coaches in the country. He looked at all the different coordinators in the country. And he said, you know what, the first thing we need to do is address the defensive side. We need to have a physical defense. We need to change the way we think about defense here at Florida State. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act that Florida State's defenses have not been as of best in the last couple of years. I'm not going to sit here and act like that. But at the same time, the game is changing. And for what Tony White did last year at Nebraska, this guy was the defensive coordinator at Nebraska. Nebraska was a physical football team. You saw some of the guys that he had on there. Ty Robinson, he plays for the Philadelphia Eagles right now. James Williams, he transferred over to Florida State. This defense at Nebraska for him, he played really well. They played with their heads on fire. They fly to the football. And for what it's worth, man, it was impressive, right? 2 times World Award nominee, produced a top 25 defense each of the top 4 times he was at Nebraska at 2 different schools, and held opponents to 20 or fewer points 25 times, including 15 times in 24 games over the past 2 seasons. So right here, you're looking at consistency. You're looking at a guy who understands how to coach defense. He understands how to limit explosive plays. That's sort of what Florida State needed. Then he said, you know what? I need to get a new offensive coordinator. I need to change this offense. This offense that we have here is not what we think it is. So he went out and hired Gus Malzahn. And Gus Malzahn was coaching at Central Florida last year. He was the head coach at Central Florida last year. He was the former head coach at Auburn. And this guy has been around the game for so long. Now, was I ecstatic about this hire? I was indifferent about this hire. I was indifferent in the sense that understanding the game is changing, understanding that the offenses in the college game are mimicking now of the NFL. We are running pseudo NFL systems at the college level. Now, am I going to sit here and say that Gus Malzahn has not coached offensive guys who are in the NFL? That's not true. He coached Cam Newton, right? But where the game is heading toward, I just don't know if Gus Malzahn is up to date with the current scheme of the world of offensive college football. And I could be wrong, but I thought there were other candidates that could have been more better. I thought there were candidates that maybe more younger that could have related better to the position. And then Mike Norvell said, hey, I need to go get a quarterback. The quarterback play at Florida State last year was unbelievably terrible. For our first game of the season in 2025, we know we play Alabama. We need to get a quarterback. So you know what he does? He goes in the portal like he always does, like he's so good at, and he gets this guy, Tommy Castellanos, former Boston College quarterback, 5'11", 200 pounds. Last year, 1,400 yards. Let's just round it up, 1,400 yards, 62% completion rating, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Now, from face value, right, those are some pretty good numbers. But when you find deeper, when you dig deeper and realize that Tommy Castellanos didn't play an entire season at Boston College. He quit on his team mid-season at Boston College. Now, people are going to say, hey, it's different things, coaching, whatever the case may be. But if you're coming off of a season where you won 3 games, you won 1 game in conference against Cal. Cal happened to be the worst Power 5 team, in my opinion, in the country. Coming back this year, they have no one, no quarterback, no running back, nothing. And you think that this guy right here is the answer to your problems. You think Tommy Castellanos is the guy that's going to help you against this guy, that's going to help you against Kalen DeBoer. You think Tommy Castellanos is the guy that's going to help you against Kalen DeBoer. Now, I know Kalen DeBoer doesn't play defense. I know he's not. He doesn't. You know, he's an offensive mind. But I have been indifferent. I have been not motivated. I don't know. I have not been encouraged with Tommy Castellanos as the starting quarterback for Florida State University. I haven't. Compared to that of Mr. Ty Simpson, who has been named the quarterback starter at Alabama. Now, I know people are going to look at me crazy and say, man, Ty Simpson has not played a meaningful snap at Alabama. I understand that. I understand he hasn't played a meaningful snap. I understand he hasn't played in a big-time game before. This is going to be his first career start. His first career start is in Doak Walker Campbell Memorial Stadium. I understand all of those things. But if you tell me that you don't believe in the firepower that this guy has, if you don't believe in the firepower that he has on his team, you are highly mistaken. You're highly mistaken, because the talent level at Florida State right now compared to that of the University of Alabama is night and day. It's night and day. Okay? It's night and day. Like, I don't even have to let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. It's night and day. And I don't know who's that's a testament to. I don't want to blame anybody. I don't want to say anything. But, I mean, the wide receiver room alone at Alabama is unreal. Every single one of these guys can start at a different school. Ryan Williams, I mean, is a superstar. Jeremy Bernard was their most important receiver last year in offense. Isaiah Horton is coming in from Miami. He had an impressive year with Cam Ward last year. Rico Scott coming in. He's been talked about being a big part of this offense. Same thing with Cole Adams. Cole Adams showed that he could play big-time football last year. Jalen Hale, too, as well. Was a little bit hurt, but find a way to get back. So I'm interested to see how does this Florida State team respond. I want to see how does this guy respond, because this is the biggest question, I think, out of everything. He's the biggest outlier. He's the biggest variable. He's the biggest unknown. I don't think it's Ty Simpson. I think it's Tommy Castellanos. And, of course, I heard what he said in the offseason about Alabama. I heard all the talk. I heard this, that, and the third, yada, yada, yada. I've heard that. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to put your helmet on and go play the game. You're going to have to go play the game. So I think everyone is looking at this game more of what is this for Alabama versus what is this for Florida State. And I truly believe that. I truly believe this game is more on who is Alabama versus what is Florida State. Because how Alabama ended the season last year, I understand they beat Auburn, but how they lost that bowl game against Michigan. A lot of people in Tuscaloosa were very, very concerned and were very questionable about, do we even have the right head coach in our locker room? That was the talk. When they lost to Michigan in that Outback Bowl, there were some fans that were questioning, is Kalen DeBoer even the right head coach to be leading our program? Now you've clean slate, year 2, right? You built the foundation. You did everything you can in the offseason, right? You reunited with your buddy, Ryan Grubb. Now go out there and put it together. The world wants to know, what Alabama team are we going to see? That's what we want to know. Are we going to see an Alabama team that is the same thing last year? The turnovers, inability to run the football, offensive line was looking a little bit sloppy. Defense sometimes gave up explosive plays. What are we going to see with this team? That's what everybody wants to know. What Alabama team are we going to see on Saturday? The talk in Tuscaloosa has been they believe their defensive back room is crazy. They believe their defensive back room is crazy, right? Damani Jackson, Cam Calhoun, Xavier Brown, Bray Hubbard, Kirkpatrick Jr. I mean, this defensive back room is absurd. Keon Sabb, Lord have mercy. Bijan Lee they've talked about him getting meaningful snaps this year. So that's what we've heard. That's what we've been hearing about this team. That's what we've been hearing about this secondary. The secondary was a major issue for them last year, in my opinion. Thought they gave up a lot of plays, especially when Keon Sabb got hurt in that Tennessee game. After that game, there were some things there. But I'm interested to see what type of Alabama team do we see on Saturday. You're going on the road against Florida State. You're going on the road against a team that you should dominate. I've been watching the film on the different fall camps. If me and you have the same set of eyes, if me and you watch football the same way, if me and you understand the game how we understand the game, and you watch a Alabama fall practice and you watch a Florida State fall practice, there is a major difference. There's a difference in physicality. There's a difference in just everything. There's a difference. There's a difference. There's a big, big difference into everything. So I'm looking forward to this game. I'm looking forward to number 15. I'm looking forward to how does 15 respond in the hostile environment. First career start, like I said, hostile environment, 80,000 people, whatever, blah, 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 blah. We all know the good noise and things like that about these non-conference road games of the season. How does Ty Simpson respond? Right? We've heard a lot of good things about Ty Simpson in camp. Big arm, accurate, timing, can deliver the ball, mobile when he needs to be. We've heard all of these good things about Ty Simpson. Now it's about putting it all together and going on the field and showing the world why Kalen DeBoer, why Ryan Grubb, why Nick Sheridan, all three of those guys, that brain trust. I'll even put Jamarcus Shepard in there. Jamarcus Shepard is the wide receiver coach at Alabama. Why all four of those guys agreed to you being a starter. So we'll see. It's going to be an interesting game. 3:30 kickoff. I was already reading there's going to be some rain in the area, in the Tallahassee area. What does that mean for, the defensive line? We haven't even talked about how this Alabama defense could just take over this game. This defense can just absolutely take over this game. LT Overton, Tim Keenan, and James Smith, all these guys are monsters. And I've been hearing a lot about Steve Mbua Moore. Yes, been hearing a lot. He's a JUCO transfer, came in from Southwest Mississippi College. Pay attention now. He is going to be an impact player. He is a wrecker. This dude is a monster. I mean, be ready now. Be ready now. This is going to be a really good opportunity, I think, again, for Florida State. 16 of your 22 possible starters are all new players. You can literally just go in there and absolutely just surprise Alabama, right? There's nothing you could lose. There's nothing for you to be like, hey, like, oh my God, like we have to do this, we have to do that, we have to, like, you could just go out there and just absolutely just surprise people. So we'll see what happens. I'm so excited for this game. I'm so excited for what this game is going to look like. And I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to these guys right here. It's going to come down to these guys right here. These guys, Tony White, Gus Malzahn, Ryan Grubb, Kalen DeBoer, and of course, Mike Norvell. It's going to come down to them. It's going to come down to X's and O's. It's going to come down to who's going to put what player in the best position to be successful. Hopefully, you're not looking like that on Saturday after the game. Right? This guy is a good coach. I'm not taking anything away from Mike Norvell. I think Mike Norvell is a really good coach. But what happened last year cannot even remotely similarly. It cannot even in a concentrated, controlled way even occur this year. It's impossible. You can't do it. You can't allow it to happen. We'll see what happens. I like Alabama. I think Alabama's the better team. I think they're the most talented team. I think they're going to be the better coach team. And not for nothing, I'm not expecting a blowout. I expect Florida State to be in this game early, but I do think at the end of the day, the talent gap, the physicality, the size, all of those things in the fourth quarter are going to lead to Alabama finding a way to win. And I think Alabama start the season 1-0. And we'll see what happens. But we'll be breaking down a lot of our week 1 games. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching episode 4. Week 1 breakdowns. This is Alabama versus FSU. Love you guys. God bless. Have a great day. Peace.